So wedging is basically slamming it down over and over again and cutting it in half over and over again. And the purpose of wedging is to help incorporate areas of the clay that are drier than other areas and to get the air bubbles out. So I cut it in half, and you can see there's air in it. There's an air bubble. So what you do is you take the piece, and I cut it at a wedge angle, like that. So then I put the other one wedge, like, see, it's a wedge. I hammer it down like I'm wedging it, like I'm, you know, I don't know how to describe, like I'm chopping wood or something. I put the wedge side on the plain side here. I don't think it matters too much. I suppose I could put the plain side here on the wedge. The whole purpose, though, is to sort of, what you don't want to do is put the flat side to flat side, because that can trap air. But a wedge side to a flat side won't trap air as badly. And then you just slam it down as hard as you can. Well, not as hard as you can, but you just slam it around. And I slam it until I get another block, and cut it, and slam it. And cut it, and slam it. And this is the fun job of wedging your clay. As many times as you think, like when you think it's incorporated and you think you've got it pretty good, do it 10 more times. I think that's the rule of thumb. See, now that I've wedged it a bunch, there's no big air bubbles in there. Okay, now I want to talk about kneading. There are a couple different methods. One I was shown how, one I had to figure out. The one I was shown is ram's head kneading. And so you take both your hands on each side and you sort of push, and then you roll it up, and you kind of, rather than straight down, kind of on the I don't know what you call it, 2 o'clock and 10 or 11 o'clock position, and you sort of push in and down again. You do that over and over, and you sort of end up at the end with this sort of a ram's head shape. Or, you know, that's the idea, the horn, and this nose. You can, I suppose they have ears too, huh? Anyway, now the method that I prefer, spiral kneading, which is the same motion basically. It's the same general motion, except for this hand. In this case, this is my left hand. I don't push as hard. I push harder with my right, but it's more than that. So I'm not even going to use this hand. I'm just going to use my right hand. And I just push down. Right, this is the shape. I lift up. Just lift it. Just rock it forward. I'm going to turn it just a little bit. I'm turning it clockwise. I suppose you're supposed to do it the other way. Anyway, this is how I do it, okay? There's probably better ways of doing it. I turn it clockwise, lift it up, and you see this ridge? It's flat here, and there's this ridge. There's a ridge down the other side. I turn it, and I put the heel of my hand right on this section here. And I'm going to push down and like that, kind of like. So I lift it up, and I push down. Don't need this hand. And I turn it. You see, I don't even need my left hand to really do it, to push. That's the beginning of it. Now what the left hand does is it helps stabilize, and it sort of helps control and help pivot. And it just rests up here on this ball part here that forms. So I'll show you what that looks like. And I'm pushing my fingers up, I'm pulling it up, I'm kind of rocking it back on this hand. I mean, you can see my fingers are here, and then there's this ridge, and I push straight kind of down on that ridge, pivot and turn it down on that ridge, pivot and turn it. And I'm just repeating that. And the shape that forms is this sort of spiral shape. And there's this ball here that forms where my left hand is. This little ball. And you sort of get these overlapping shapes. And you can do this with a fairly large block of clay. This is probably a good 20 pounds of clay, or 25 pounds. And I don't have to lift the whole thing. I can just focus on the one side. And just the rest of it sort of takes care of itself. I'm only lifting this section. All of this other, I'm not lifting. I'm just lifting up this section. And it's just slowly working in the whole mass. See? I use compactor bags, trash compactor bags. They're pretty heavy duty and readily available.